Hey guys, welcome to another episode of As the Leader Grows. I'm your host, Ken Joslin, where I am ridiculously passionate about helping business leaders build confidence, gain clarity, and create community. And listen, I got a special treat for you guys today. I for whatever reason, I get to hang around some of the sharpest young, and they're young, obviously he's young. This cat's young too. Some of the sharpest young entrepreneurs and business owners around the country. Boss Muhammad out in the Bay Area, my guy Austin Zealand up in Seattle, and my guy Tommy Ooze is one of those dudes. I spoke at UConn a few weeks ago, and Tommy was there, and we got to connect. And dude, as soon as I met this kid, I'm like, oh, this kid's going somewhere. And we just connected. Tommy, man, welcome to As the Leader Grows. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother? Excited to be here. Appreciate you having me on today, man. Couldn't be more excited.
Man, super stoked. And this guy is mentored by my good friend, Alex Morton, which is, we probably could cut the podcast off right now and we'd be good to go. Tommy, take a minute, dude. Tell our audience a little bit about you. How old are you, dude?
I'm 24 years old. 24 years old.
You get carded everywhere you go, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Hey, listen, when I get carded now, when you're my age, it's like, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. They say, can I see your driver's license? This is the line. It just says old. That's all it says. But 24 years old. Tell our audience a little bit about you, bro.
You look good, man, for your age. But yeah, 24 years old. Name is Tom Hughes. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I've been in the entrepreneurship space for the last 4 years. Serial entrepreneur now. Own multiple businesses, as well as I do professional public speaking, mindset coaching. I get to lead my own brand called Revolution to Free Generations, where we have a community of thousands of people that we help, make money online, stuff like that. And then, I got my own book coming out this year, which I'm super fired up about. I'm the author of the upcoming book, Mastering Your Mind, 21 Proven Strategies to Take Your Life from 0 to 100. So that'll be dropping towards the end of this year. But yeah, man, just, really into helping people level up in life, really expand their mindset. Cause that's kind of what happened to me, 4 years ago, fast forward to today.
Okay. Well, we're going to start right there real quick because dude, 24 years old, I just go back 30 years ago when I was 24 years old. And I didn't have a clue. Dude, talk to me. Cause you just mentioned, when you had that aha moment for you, when you were 20 years old. Walk me through that moment. Tell me what was going on in your life that just had made that light bulb go off at the level that it did.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think for me, I went the normal route, man. Go to school, get good grades, graduate, get a degree, right? And I graduated for the business marketing degree out of Toronto. And I remember being a broke 20-year-old, focused on the wrong things. Similar story to Alex, actually. And I just said, there's got to be more to life. There's got to be more out there. And I was just always had that burning desire. They say desire is the starting point of all achievement. And, to become successful, I just didn't really know which route to go. And then, I kind of saw entrepreneurship and online affiliate marketing, stuff like that. And, I just started following people that had what I want. And I just needed a vehicle really to, get in, because they don't really teach you how to become a successful entrepreneur, right, in school and stuff like that. So I was just looking elsewhere. And that's when I got into the investment space, the marketing sales space, and the helping people, the leadership space. And that's when it kind of really started clicking, when I was done school and I could kind of live freely for myself. But I think the first, exposure to personal development that really set me on course was I went to Tony Robbins's on UPW conference back in when I was 16 years old. My parents took me, shout out them one time, and I got to walk on fire, and that expanded the mind, right? So from there, and then now until now, it's always just been my favorite books, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, whatever your mind of,
love it.
Right. So yeah, I would definitely say that.
Love it. So walked on fire. Walk me through. You're there in this environment with your parents. Tony Robbins event. Walk me through, what was that event like, dude?
Yeah, Dude, it's crazy. Like I literally went there, like my parents were like, come to this thing. And I was like, not like, into the personal development space at all. Obviously, you're 16 years old. You don't know what you don't know, right? One of my favorite quotes,
Right.
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I went there and, I like, they primed you for 3 days, just trained you. And like, obviously just feeding my subconscious mind. And I wasn't fully aware of what was going on. And then they're like, all right, now we're going to, teach you guys how to walk across fire after 3 days. I was like, what? And it was just mind boggling. And then I remember getting in front of the coals and they're like, say this, like cool moss. So like, convince yourself you're good. And then I just started walking on fire, and you're seeing people like literally freak out and burn their feet. And then you're seeing other people like do it. And I just walked, and I did it 12 feet of burning hot coals, and I just did it, and I didn't burn my feet. And I was like, this is crazy. And then from that day forward, I knew that like, if I could believe in myself, if I could believe in something, enough, I could go out there and make things happen. And like, really, that's when I fell in love with mindset and, helping people, because I just noticed if I could do this, what else can I do? So that was kind of the mentality.
And how old were you again, Tommy?
I was 16 when I did that. Which was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, what was it like walking back into 11th grade?
Man, I don't even think like
go to homeroom and they're like, dude, what'd you do this weekend? We went to a party. Man, I went to see Tony Robbins and I walked on fire. Like, how does that conversation go with your friends?
Yeah, I think like I didn't even fully realize like what I had went through. Like it was like almost like in shock, because like when it kind of fast forwards to me being 20, graduating school, like getting back into like, the personal development space. I think that's when it all started clicking for me, because I think it was just like so crazy to me. Like it was nuts.
That is. I mean, do you remember like conversations with your friends after that time?
Yeah, I think I told like a couple of friends, and they're like, "No, you didn't." I was like, "Yeah, I swear I walked on fire." No one believed me. Everyone definitely thought I was a little crazy for sure.
That's crazy. So you came home, I guess probably a junior in high school or right around that age.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was like coming home. And now you're going to, how do you sit in the English class in the 11th grade after you've been with Tony Robbins for 3 days and you walked on fire?
I think I fell like, I mean, this might sound not necessarily the greatest, but I think I fell in love with like the personal development mindset, like, space right then and there. Cause I didn't really see like there's certain things in school I was learning as, valuable, like geometry or, things that I personally wasn't passionate about or what I used. Right. So I think I was just like so focused on like understanding how I was able to do that, and like, understanding really the psychology of the mind, and just learning about the mind. I've studied Bob Proctor. I've been personally mentored by Bob Proctor before he passed away. Rest in peace. Yeah. But I started studying him every day, reading Think and Grow Rich every day, really just focusing and trying to learn and develop as much as possible.
So let's go back to the walking on fire. You're in high school, last couple of years of high school. What did you notice that changed first after you had that experience, after you went to, I guess, Date with Destiny or UPW? Yeah.
I think just a more of a belief level in myself. I would say confidence and, reality as a whole. I think understanding like reality, because it's like you're like, if someone said you can't walk on fire without burning your feet, I'd call them crazy, But I think like reality is like I think almost like, I might sound crazy, but I think almost anything is possible, right? If you can definitely defy the odds, right? If you can believe it, you can achieve it. So I think like I just really, back then I was just sitting there like trying to like figure out, I was okay, if I can do this, what else can I do?
Mm.
And that was kind of the mentality. It's always been the mentality. Like I have like such, like I don't have like small goals whatsoever. You know what I mean? I got massive goals. And I think that's why it's like, why limit yourself? If you can walk on fire, what else can you do, man? Like why not you go, do that? Why not you go live the best?
So you go back, you finish high school, you start, and tell me kind of, when did the entrepreneur fire bug, when did you catch that? And walk me through some of the first things you did as a young high school and college entrepreneur.
Yeah. So I think, I got caught up in partying for a bit. Let's keep it real. Right. And then after that, when I went and I joined my first company, actually Alex's, right. And, I went to my first convention out in Dallas. I was 20 years old. Barely could afford to get there, to be honest. Like I said, broke college kid. And I remember seeing Bob Proctor speak, Alex Morton speak. some of my other mentors speak. And I just like fell in, it like reinstilled what happened when I was 16. And it really like smacked me in the face. And I was like, I'm all in, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to, become successful. And then, that's what started to happen. I just started attracting the people, the opportunities. And I remember like leaving that convention, meeting Alex there. I don't even know if you'll remember it. And then going into seeing Bob Proctor at a seminar in Toronto when I flew back home. Then I got mentorship from Bob Proctor. I went to his house. I got a course from that. I went and bought another course. I got some of the certificates actually behind me here. And it's crazy. And then I just started like diving into the personal development space over and over and over again, investing into me. And I always believe the best investment is in yourself. But like from that day forward, I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna apply what they're teaching, and I'm gonna go out there and just make it happen in my life.
Yeah, talk to me about I want to talk about Bob just a little bit, and obviously Alex and what you're doing right now. One of the first things I noticed about you before I even met you, before I even saw you, we were in the hallway. I was shooting some video back in the back at UConn when I was speaking there, and I just saw the way you dressed, saw the way you carried yourself with a very high level of excellence. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about that level of excellence. Where did that come from? Who helped instill that in you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think my Bob Proctor, like you said, is definitely one of them. One of my favorite things that he's taught me and is act as if, right? It's like act and think like the person you want to become before you become that person. Right? I think there's a very fine line from faking it till you make it and then faithing it till you make it. So I've been faithing it till I make it. And I continue to do it over and over every single day, no matter what my results are, because they can always get better, right? So I think I just, carry myself as who is Tommy Hughes as a billionaire, right? And it's like, I want to be that person now, act as that person now in order to get in the right rooms and make the right connections, build the right relationships. Hence, you and I, right now, right, Ken? So I think that's the biggest thing. And obviously, like, learned a lot from my dad, parents. My dad's a workhorse, he's a grinder, so definitely got that work ethic from him. But I think carrying myself, just seeing what my mentors did. I always say success leaves clues, right? If you do what successful people do, you're bound to eventually get what they get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to tell people all the time, and I still say this, and this has been 25 years in the making, that when you act like you belong in the room, you'll get in the room.
Mm-hmm.
When you act like you belong in the room, you'll get in the room. When you start, and I've heard, Grant say this, a lot of people say this, if you're a $1 million business and you want to become a $3 million business, then you just need to do the things that $3 million businesses do. Those are the things that you need to do. And so I love that. I love that journey. Again, the excellence thing for me was huge. And was that when you went to like the conference with Bob and Alex, was excellence already a big time priority for you? And when did you really start learning about how I appear in public and what my hair looks like and how I'm dressed and how I carry myself and how I have conversations? Because you're young, and a lot of young guys, it's hard to get noticed when you're 20 some odd years old. I mean, it really is. You have to carry yourself with, again, not just excellence, but some moxie and some humility. There just has to be something there. The it factor, as my good friend Emily Ford says.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I think just looking back at who I used to be to who I am now, I had to reinvent myself. Like I had to work on the self-image. I had to work on the internal stuff. I mean, most people, like everyone does, right? It's like you're never just like perfect from birth, right? We are conditioned obviously by our parents, outside sources, et cetera. Right. And that's how the paradigm's created. But I think just like, realizing where I lacked and where I wanted to be, and then just saying, okay, well, how would Tommy Hughes dress as, this, at this income level, as this person, or getting around in these rooms? And, I would just start doing it, and I would just, start carrying myself like that. And, really just like thinking and acting like the person I wanted to become before I became that person. And then guess what? You become that person, and then there's levels to it. Right. So like you said, I think you were talking about rooms earlier. I remember sitting at a table, I was out for dinner in Miami, but like when I was like 21 and I was making like $600 a month, like in my company, it was horrible, like nothing. And I remember sitting there and I was around, guys are making millions and millions of dollars, a couple billionaires. And then they're like, yeah, man, millions, nothing, a billion's the new million. And I'm sitting there, I'm making like 600 a month, but it's like, I was at that table. Right. So it's like, putting yourself in those positions, I think you are the 5 people you hang out with at the end of the day, right? It's like your environment is everything. It's like your belief level is going to be based upon who you hang out with, who you associate with. So I was just putting myself in places that I could possibly get into, like you said, getting in the right rooms, carrying myself the right way, and then, attracting and building those right relationships in order to, be where we are today. Right. So,
yeah, I don't think people understand the importance of getting in the rooms. I mean, in my planner, my GSD planner that I created on the bottom right-hand side, matter of fact, this right there, says get in rooms with people who think bigger than you do. It's a quote that I used to write in my 10X planner before I created my own for about a year and a half. So for 3 years, literally, I've been writing that quote down, because when you get in rooms like you did with Alex Morton, with Bob Proctor, and some of the people, the Tony Robbins, UPW, some of the rooms that you got in, it literally, it's almost, I think I talked about this at UConn. Proximity is a cheat code. Like
power.
it literally, it's like you trick your mind into going, not even tricking your mind. It's like I say trick your mind into going, hey dude, I can do this.
Yeah.
If Tommy can do it, if Bob can do it, if King can do it, if Alex Morton can do it, if they can do this, and I do the same things they're doing to get where they are, then guess what? I can do this as well. Talk to me about some of the obstacles or trials you had as a 20 some odd year old kid, young 20s, trying to break into really the entrepreneur space at the level that you're in in the entrepreneur space now.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great thing to touch on, especially for like younger listeners. But yeah, I think like there's the bucket and the crab theory, like the buckets and the crab. If you know that one, it's like you try to crawl out, and then guess what? The crabs pull you back in. You know what I mean? At the bottom, right? When it's like you're trying to grow. So I think like, one of my favorite quotes and I live by is elevation requires separation, right? And it's like who's helping you grow and who's helping you, not grow. And it's like, in order for me to be where I am today, I had to let go of certain relationships and friendships and people that weren't necessarily helping me grow, but were holding me back. I always say, as you elevate, people are either going to come with you or they're going to wither away out of your life. So I think that's one of the bigged obstacles I had to face was like, letting go of certain people and certain relationships, even, girlfriends. I had to get rid of certain people in my life in order to get to that next level, man. It's like, they say at every level there's a new devil, right? And it's like, I had to ask myself, some people aren't going to want to go as, be successful in life, or they don't, like, God didn't give them your vision, is one great thing I like to hear and say. It's like, so it's like, I'm really careful of like who I let in my environment, my proximity. And like, I'm always trying to get in the right rooms, if I don't have them, right, I'll go fly out and create them, and I think that was one of the biggest obstacles was just, realizing who in my life is helping me grow and who isn't, because your environment is everything. So that was one of the biggest things for sure.
Huge. So talk to me about some of the successes you've seen in your early 20s this far from all of the work that you've been putting in.
Yeah. So I was able to, acquire, a business, got a nightclub, also, being mentored and, being able to, go on tour with some of the top guys in my industry, like Alex and, Matt, Rosa, stuff like that, as well as being able to lead teams. I remember I started in my first company, just me, and I was able to scale to 1,000 people. Now, starting my own brand back in June of last year. So, building that up right now, RFG. So it's been amazing, man. Honestly, I'm grateful for where I'm at, but I'm more excited for where I'm going. Like I said, the book's coming out. I got my own course coming out, stuff like that. So I'm super excited for that type of stuff. I'm going to do my own big event, kind of like how you got yours and Alex did his.
Come on.
Yeah. I got a public speaking course coming out right now. So a lot of big things on the go. And I think it just comes down to me investing into me. Like I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on personal development courses, Think and Grow Rich courses, public speaking courses, spiritual versus physical universe courses. Like, I like you said, like we know the power of investing into us, and it's like from an early age, I'm like every dollar, Bob Proctor taught me this. He said, every dollar you invest in yourself, Tommy, you get 30 back. And I was like, bet, let's like 100%. Yeah. So I'm more excited. I like to stay in a state of blissfully dissatisfied, right? I'm grateful for where I'm at, but more excited for where I'm going. So, that's a little bit of success, but I'm nowhere where I'm going to be 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the book.
So the book, Mastering Your Mind, super excited. Been working on it for like 2 years, put it on hold for a bit to build my businesses. But I made a decision. I'm going to get it out by my 25th birthday. So November 2nd, honestly, probably going to get it out on the day. That's the goal. So, basically it's all going to be about mindset. So it's all going to be about the spiritual laws of the universe versus the physical laws, understanding, not just the basic things of the law of attraction, like they teach in the movies, The Secret, but, really diving into everything I've learned and all the principles I've applied in my life to help scale and transform, Tommy Hughes from 20 to 24. I want to, teach that. So when someone picks it up, they can apply it and go there and transform their life. I feel like a lot of people just like they keep all their success secrets to them. I'm the type of person where like, I want to leave a legacy. I want to, when I die one day, people are going to go to my grave and be like, man, that book changed my life. That speech changed my life, that YouTube video. So I'm just excited to leave an impact on the world.
Where did that come from in you? Just the desire. You're 24 years old. There aren't too many 24-year-old cats that talk about legacy because you're 24 years old. I mean, that's usually in their 40s. I'm 54 now. That's where you're getting your late 40s. You start talking about and thinking really about legacy or start having kids. Where did that come from in you?
I think there's just like, that's a great question. Honestly, I gotta think about that. But I think honestly, it's just desire, man. Like I love like how I am today. Like I'm so grateful for how I am today because I wasn't always like this, but it started from the education. It started from all the books, all the courses. And it's like, man, there's not like a one-stop shop where someone can just open it up and like take some information and apply it, and it's like, my book's not going to be the holy grail by any means, but it's going to be something to get people like moving the needle forward, man. And I feel like, people just die. Like everyone's going to die one day. Right. And it's like, like, I don't want to just be another gravestone in the ground. Like Tommy Ooze, like, I'm trying to be the next, best version of me, like Tony Robbins type of vibe in that sense where I'm not, just living, I'm living to give, the secret to living is giving. Tony always says it. And it's like, I love helping people. Like truly, I get so much fulfillment. I have so many success stories in my current business right now. Like that's what keeps me going. And, we always hear success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I just like want to know, like when I have kids one day, I want to give them my book, go read this, study this, master this, when I die and there's, ooze generations to come, I want them reading my book. I want them applying the information I learned. So then they did that. I'm creating that successful bloodline, because I don't have that, billionaire in my family, millionaire in my family. So I'm going to be that one, right? I'm going to be that one and, make sure that I leave that success for future generations to come, man. I don't know. It's just
that's what Ed Mylett talked about it. Yeah, that's what Ed Mylett talked about at my conference in Atlanta in January. He talked about being the one.
Yeah.
Like every family has to have the one that goes, nope, this generational curse or this, poverty that we've been in, or like, I'm going to be the one that pays the price to break through to show everybody else in my family, my kids, my brothers, sisters, my parents, my grandkids, everybody. Hey, this is possible. You really can do this. Back to the book real quick. We've got a couple more minutes. What's the biggest thing you're excited about in your book?
To help people understand the way they've been conditioned from birth and help them change their thinking. Because if you can change the way you think, you can change your entire life. You just don't know what you don't know. And people really need to understand things like the law of attraction, the laws of the universe, the laws of cause and effect, right? The laws of proximity, stuff like that. And just really understanding, how you can shift your thinking. Like if you have, a negative self-image, I want to give people the tools and resources to go out there and transform their mindset. Because I think the biggest lesson I've learned in life and I've applied in my own life is if you can change the way you think, you can change what you do, right? Because the only battle you have is the one against the man or woman in the mirror every single day. So I want to help people just, beat out that old version of them and create the best version of them. So that's what I'm most excited about.
I love your wisdom at 24 years old. There's a lot of wisdom there. I can't wait. Dude, I'm stoked. I get a front row seat to watch you for the next 10 to 15 years, dude. I'm stoked. That fires me up, dude. Just sitting here listening to you talk and just the wisdom that you talk with and the, you just, a lot of, I guess millennials. Are you a millennial? Is that what they call you?
I don't know. I'm 24, whatever. 24. Yeah, something like that.
Young cats. You young cats. And, there's just not a lot of young guys like you that have the level of humility, wisdom, just that really just operate with an understanding. And dude, I'm super excited. So tell us, best place to connect with you, Tommy.
Best place to connect with me, probably my Instagram at Tommy_ooze. That's my only account. Got a bunch of people trying to impersonate me, but that's the only one. So
And that's going to be _UZ.
Yeah.
For some of you guys that want to spell it.
Yeah.
There
UZ.
you go. Yeah. For some of
better.
you guys that want to spell it OOOZE.
Yeah. UZ.
Or how we would spell ooze. Yeah. Tommy_UZ, Tommy Ooze. Go check him out. Book's coming out. When did you say the book was coming out again?
The goal is to have it out on my birthday, November 2nd. So you can probably get it on Amazon.
Gotcha.
Put an audio version.
Got you. I'm looking forward to my signed autograph copy coming in the mail.
100%.
I can't wait. Now I'll shout you out like crazy, bro. I shout you. You know, here's one thing I do. People always, and I don't think I mentioned this there, but people ask me all the time, like, how do you get around the people you get around? Like I was on the phone today with John and Catherine Gordon and having a conversation with Catherine this morning about my conference in Dallas. And Catherine's speaking there, and John's going to show up as well. And nobody knows John's coming. Shh, don't tell nobody. Top secret. But you know, John's coming. They'll both be there, and we're just having conversations. And I share a little bit about this, about great leaders want something for people, not from people. But I tell you another thing I do. Every time I have a friend who has a book launch, I buy 5 to 10 books from them. Every single time. I've got books on my bookshelf downstairs and in tubs where I'll buy them and then I just try to give them away to people when people want them. I do. I'm just telling you, because I just know as an author, I have a best-selling book last year as well. I'm working on my second one right now as a best-selling author. Man, I know, man, there's a lot goes in to getting a book done. A lot of time, a lot of sweat, dude, are we ever going to get done with this thing? You know, there's a lot that goes into that, man. So anyway, so that's one of the things I do. Well, do congrats on that, man. Final thoughts, final words for our audience today, my friend.
Appreciate you, Ken. Yeah, final thoughts. I would say just, you got one life, man. It might sound cliche, but just go all in on it. You know, ask yourself, where am I going to be in 10, 20, 30, 50 years from now if I keep doing what I'm doing now? And if you're not going to be happy with the result, make the changes like today, leaving this podcast, and, you know, go out there and start living the life you want to live. And you might say, well, Tommy, that sounds easy. No. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but you know, 1% a day, that if you can do 1% a day, that's 365% a year. Like just focus on getting a little bit better every single day, you know, and watch where you'll be a couple of years from now.
No, I love that, man. Again, I said this on my coaching call this morning, my GSD community. We tend to overestimate what we can do in the short term, and we underestimate what we can do in the long term. It really is a long play, and you can have some big gains. What we've done and what God's done in GSD in 3 years is insane. It's crazy. It's crazy where we're at right now. It's crazy that I've got all the people that I've got coming in Dallas to be a part of this conference in 2.5 months at Create. It blows my mind. But literally, it's the long play. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Well, dude, I'm super proud of you, man. I'm super excited about watching you, cheering you on, being one of those guys that's like, dude, you got to meet my guy, Tommy Ooze. And I'm excited for you, my friend.
I'm excited to be connected with you. And if you haven't been to Ken's conference, you know, definitely get there. I'll be flying out there for sure this summer.
Come on, man.
So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Well, guys, listen, thank you again for joining us on another episode of As the Leader Grows. As always, if this has added value, which I know it has, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Man, you guys are the backbone behind us getting in to the top 2% of all podcasts across the world when it comes to entrepreneurship and business. Number 2, while you're listening, snap a screenshot, share it on Instagram, tag my guy, Tommy, tag me. We'll both reshare it. Heck, he's got more followers than I have. He's got about 80,000 followers. We'll both share it, give you a little love to our audience. And again, if you're looking for, and I say this all the time, do not do business alone. If you're looking for a community of entrepreneurs where you can really focus on growing your core 5, faith, health, relationship, business, and finances, go right over to growstackdrive.com/challenge. growstackdrive.com/challenge. 10 days, you'll get access to our 2 coaching calls we do every single Monday morning, every Wednesday night, access to my Grow course, which is on mindset, really going after and crushing limiting beliefs like fear, insecurity, scarcity, comparison, shame, and success. The things that keep you from seeing what's in your heart come to fruition, as well as our private Facebook community. Tommy, dude, thanks for being a part.